Well, hey, how y'all doing out there this evening? Listen, I ain't been on for, off and on, and everything's patchy because I'm really working out a lot of things in my own life, and I'm really getting somewhere. And every time I kind of reach a milestone with myself, or even see changes in other people's lives, I like to take those moments, and I always call them teachable moments, and I like to share that. I like to share that for a lot of reasons. For one, it instills it into me deep, um, like the Ten Commandments written in stone. And it just really lays it home for me to keep in my mind, to keep fresh, so I can have said something and not go back on it. Because as y'all well know, I think the worst thing in the world is hypocrites and liars. But what I wanted to talk about with y'all tonight was something that's really just affected me in my recent personal life, something that's held me back at times in my life, and it's something that I don't want holding y'all back. It's something that I want you to pay attention to and be very real with, because for one thing, the truth is very ugly, and but it's still the truth. No matter how ugly it gets, no matter how much it rips your heart out of your chest, or pains you to think about things, some things are true. And where we've gotten to this place in our lives, and especially in our country, and we see in our fellow countrymen, and the people that we love, even the people that we hate, or don't like, this blaming. Um, when I was coming up, man, you got in trouble or something happened, and that was just the way it was. We had Murphy's Law, which means anything can happen to anybody. And we just knew that everything wasn't supposed to be hunky-dory, that we were the only ones responsible for our safety, that we were responsible for our actions. And we couldn't go blame that on somebody else. The things bad that happened in our life, sure, some people may be doing it to us. Some people may be evil to us, or completely cruel to us, but blaming them is like a quick way out. How did you get into the situation? How do you get out of the situation? I mean, we've watched on TV, and we've seen in our own personal lives where somebody will slip in a store where there was a sign that said wet floor, and they'll win a $500,000 lawsuit because they did it in a Walmart, or even something tragic as a child suffocating on a plastic bag, but because the bag wasn't labeled uh, "Do not let children touch" or something, these people would win lots of money. They would get the sympathy of juries. They would get the sympathy, our sympathy, because something happened. But the truth about it is we were responsible for that baby. We read the sign that said wet floor. We saw the caution label that coffee was hot or anything. And because of our society becoming weaker, because of us finding less reasons to be responsible for ourselves, and put our responsibility off on others, this has just become a state of mind. It has become a state of mind that somebody owes us. It's become a state of mind that our situation. Sorry about that interruption. Like, I don't want to blame somebody that this Wi-Fi, I'm on a cheap Wi-Fi. But and when we blame other people, when we take away our own individual responsibility, when we lose sight of the fact that we are the only people responsible for our safety, that we are the only people responsible for our children's health, our children's well-being, our children's education, that we, in fact, are the ones responsible for our family, for our community, for the way things have gotten. We got to get back to that point, y'all. Yes, some things suck, but it's nobody's fault. There's nobody to blame. And sometimes the only person you can blame is yourself. It's very hard to look in the mirror and say I was responsible for my child's death. It's very hard to look in there in the mirror and say I'm responsible for my drug use, for my alcohol abuse, for my sadness, for my depression. But really, the truth about all of those things is we also responsible for our inner peace. It's not to be given to us by people. It's not to be handed to us like a right. Inner peace is the only way of surviving any of this. It's the only way of not even having blame come into your heart and come out of your mouth. Inner peace is something that only you can find. And I've really worked hard with this for y'all. I've really tried to explain it, that if you don't love yourself, if you don't um, realize that you're the only one going to take care of you, so you can take care of other people. Um, Without that, we're lost. So as we look at all the crazy things going on around us, as we even look at our own planet collapsing, our ecosystems destruction, even if there is somebody to blame, what can you do about it? Blaming keeps you in a state of mind where you will never do nothing because you've been satisfied with finding blame. We need to find the change. We need to find the fix for all these things going on. And it does not lie at the tip of our tongue as blame. And we can hate on that, and blame always leads to hate. And we know that hate is completely destructive to anything in our lives. Yes, things are hard. Yes, our water is toxic. Our food is fake. Our children are sick. And we can blame everything in the world. But really, the truth is we can only blame ourselves because we were the ones that allowed this to happen. Now, in saying that, how do we get out of it? How do we stop this vicious cycle? How do we not point the finger at even the true people that have caused much of this to happen? We go and we search that inner peace. We find that inner strength. We rely on our inner self to change the things we can and to just survive and do the best with the things we cannot change. That is the biggest chunk of gold I could ever give you. The blaming is keeping you from moving forward. The blaming is keeping me from moving forward, even with little things. And where I may be right in my own personal life, I'm wrong for allowing it to be an excuse for why I haven't gotten the things that I want or the things that I need out of life. Shit happens, y'all. I even had a bumper sticker way back in the day. But who did it is that as important as the who done it as is the what are we going to do about it and have we fixed it? Because I see a lot of things going on with all groups of people, and I see where blaming above even hating has held them back from being the wonderful, beautiful people that they are. It takes away your power. It gives you a reason to sit down because now you have shunned off the individual responsibility. You found the responsible party, and for some reason, that's good enough. Well, it ain't good enough. Every day is tough. Life is tough, and life today is especially not only tough, but we're actually being manipulated into being weaker. I don't know why, but it's the truth. We are being manipulated into being weaker. So as the brother I am, I'm going to tell you right now, don't blame anything. Or even if you find blame, don't become comfortable in that blame. Don't become cumbersome to the problem to begin with. The problem is still there no matter whose fault it is. And that is my main point. Your power comes from fixing these things. Your power comes from changing. You are the change that you want to see in your life. Wow. How much more power can I give you? How much more power can you give yourself? As to realize you are the most powerful being in your life. You are the only person in your life that can give you everything you want, everything you need. It can be your way, but you have to make it that way. So we have to stop this blaming, y'all. We have to get back to fixing things. The problems are there. They're not going away. Nothing's being resolved. And even when we do resolve certain things, I've seen a lot of things over the last 2 decades that had been not completely fixed, but we were gaining ground, say racism and hatred and bigotry. We were gaining ground, and these fucks that mess with our minds, that make money off our dissension, that make money off of our discontent, make money off us hating each other. They pop them up. They bring it back. So we have to fight that as well. When we have put something to bed, it stays in the bed. When we have fixed something, it does not need to be broken again. And when we see something that's wrong, we can't go blame why it's wrong. We have to change why it's wrong. Blaming is quicksand, and the more you struggle in it, the deeper you're going to sink. So I just want y'all to think about that this evening, and just let you know that things that I talk to y'all, but the main reason I talk to y'all about them is because either it's an epiphany I found out about my own personal life, and I see where it can help my brother or my sister, help my tribe. It can help strengthen the unity that we need, and blow our brotherhood just out of the water, man, and just make us all powerful beings. but I also do it to keep myself in line, to keep myself straight. A lot of people, a lot of y'all see me out here. We've gotten to know each other, and we have to. I have to, you know, I don't want to be considered a hypocrite. I want you to know that what I'm telling you is out of love, not out of a matter of being right. I tell you things so we can change. This is me trying to be a part of the change. It's speaking the ugly truth. And y'all, the truth costs me a lot. It costs me a lot, but I'll never stop. I'll never stop in my life telling the truth because I have children. I have grandchildren. I have a heart, and I really do love my tribe. I love my planet. And lying about it and denying it and blaming who did it is not going to save none of y'all. And it damn sure ain't going to save my Mother Earth. So I love y'all. I love coming out here and talking about things. I'm sorry that I've been missing y'all a lot, but I've been figuring things out too. And I'm taking the blame out of my mouth, and it's going to empower me. So I see where my power is being sapped out of me. And I won't let it happen, and I won't let it happen to you. This is tribe, y'all. This is communication. And this is what we have. And if you want to blame anybody for that, well, let's blame each other because we're all in this boat together and we're all rowing these oars. And we're going to make it. We're going to make it because we are the change. So be the change. Live the change. And watch it change around you. And seek your inner peace. I'm lost mine and I've got to find it again, but I know I will because I've had it before. I love y'all. Peace. And don't live in fear.